It just doesn't pay to pre-order comic books when you're pre-ordering the wrong books. Hey there, today I have an unboxing video, and in this video I'm going to open my very first order from Stadium Comics. Stadium Comics, I only know them as an online store, and one of the things that they offer is the ability to place pre-order bundles. And by pre-order bundle, I mean you're able to kind of choose different options at different price points, and the more expensive the bundle, those bundles typically would include those ratio incentives. And in this particular order, there was a couple of ratio incentives of a specific title, and I didn't want to miss out. And I was running into some either bad luck or bad timing at Things from Another World, where I was not able to add a couple of these books to my pre-order FOC or subscription. And so I was worried I was not going to be able to find them. And I guess you'd classify the worrying as pure FOMO or pre-order FOMO, or FOMO or future FOMO. I don't quite know how to describe it, but I was trying to order, a couple of these incentives months in advance. And I wasn't necessarily trying to predict the future. I just loved the covers and just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss them. And for some reason, I didn't trust myself, and I didn't think maybe they'll just be available, right? Maybe that you can just find these for sale after release date. And there was just something about the couple of bundles that I ordered where I was just certain, I was so sure that I was making the right call. So I want to get to the unboxing and see kind of what the packing is like from Stadium, and just kind of what that experience is, and then go over the bundles and kind of what was included, and I'll show you what I paid for them and compare it to fair market value, just to kind of see if these things that I pre-ordered. I believe I placed this pre-order back in March of 2022, and then just received the order here around mid-July 2022. So about 4 months from the time I placed the order to finally receiving the books. So let me get to the unboxing. You'll see the breakdown of the bundles and some of the ratio incentives I got. And then we'll go through the details of the order and see if, yet again, pre-ordering was worth it. All right, here is the box from Stadium Comics. It came from Comic Boxer, but I assume it's Stadium Comics. There's only one way to find out, and it's to get this thing open. So here we go. All right, I'm losing my mind with the tape. I can't stand the tape. I can't get these. This is unbelievable. I don't know why these two things are taped together. They're sort of separate. I think it's the two bundles. And it's just this extreme packing tape. And now I have to bend the books to get the tape off. The tape. Just gonna take a deep breath. Try again. Maybe go slowly. It's like the strongest, stickiest packing tape ever, and it's holding the bag closed for some reason. The bubble wrap, it was like at least two full passes with the bubble wrap, which was great, fantastic. Love that part. And now we're just at the worst. Oh, I think I finally got it. The worst packing tape ever. Okay, I'm gonna assume that everything in one, whatever this is, group of bags and boards is the same. So I'll explain it here when I start showing the books, but my goodness. So aside from the crazy tape, I mean, just bag it. Just bag it, fold it over, piece of Scotch tape. It's not going anywhere. And I was wrong about that. So let's try the other one. Open this one. Okay. Let's look at the two bundles. So essentially, I ordered two titles, two number ones, and then I decided on certain bundles within those number ones. The first is Twig. So there's more tape. So I'll just kind of show you the different, I guess, variations. So it's a combination of like a cover A, alternate covers, and then incentives. So this is Twig number one, written by Scotty Young, art by Kyle Stram, from Image Comics. And I was just certain when I pre-ordered this was going to be a huge hit. It was going to sell out. I just felt like with Scotty Young writing and sort of directing the art, and then with some other artists, very well-known artists on the variants, I was sure this was a can't miss. I feel like we're all still hanging on to the success of Strange Academy, which has been kind of up and down. Number one came out and it was a smash hit. And then it kind of tapered off. And then we got a couple of new characters introduced after about a year. And then it became hot again. And then the series ended and now there's another series starting. So if you consider that to be a successful Scotty Young project, okay, I'll give you that. Since then, I haven't really felt like his properties have maybe sustained the same success. I don't really know, but The Me Who Loved You in the Dark was another one, and number one I went heavy on. Great variants on the first issue and so forth. I even got 9.8 slab of that number one. You can find that number one for cover price anywhere. So with Twig, it's everywhere. It's not really anything that's hard to find. But nevertheless, I still went all in. I still want to read it. And here are the different covers that I got in the bundle. So this is cover A. I believe this is considered the cover B or cover C. This is the Peach Momoko variant. And again, with Momoko, you either really, really love her or are tired of her. And again, when I saw it, I was like, this really speaks to her style. Another kind of can't miss. I thought, okay, let's do it. Here is the Scotty Young version, which I thought was really great. Has a kind of retro kids feel to it. It just screamed like Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, or I mean, probably not Disney Plus, but it just screamed some sort of even animated project or CGI live action. Here's the Peach Momoko. I forget what they called it. They didn't call it a virgin cover. It was like full art is what they called it, the full art version. Here is the full art version of the Strom. It almost looks a little weird without the trade, but it's fine. It's cool. It was part of the bundle. And then this is the Stadium Comics exclusive. So with their bundles, they put their exclusive in it. And the other two books belong to the other bundle. So they did mix it. So that was the Twig bundle. This was I think the cheapest of the three bundles. I just wanted to acquire, again, some of those, like the cover A, B, and C, and then a couple of the Virgin Ratio incentives. So again, stick around for the end to kind of see how these books are holding up from a fair market value perspective. So that was the first bundle. Now, the second bundle, I could basically give you the same story where I was sure that this was going to be a hit. I didn't care about the print run. I think the interesting thing here with this book is it was solicited as an adaptation. There's lots of adaptations. I mean, not a significant amount, but there are adaptations in the history of Marvel Comics for especially like science fiction and adventure books. And this was solicited as an adaptation of a particular Star Wars show. And I've heard some rumblings about people getting upset that it wasn't a new story. And that's fine. That's okay. But it was advertised as an adaptation. I didn't care. I wanted the book. I thought a couple of the covers in particular were amazing. I really even thought the Stadium exclusive that was included in this bundle was a hit, was a home run. I thought it was great. So I am happy that I've acquired the books, but the print run on this one is probably so insane that I'm having some regrets, and I haven't even looked at the books. And one of those is like, okay, I spent the money, I bought the books, let's finally look at them. I waited so long for Mandalorian #1. This, I believe, was the most expensive bundle. I wanted to make sure that I got all the variants and all the incentives. And this is, I think they're calling it the TV cover. Essentially, it's a photo cover variant. So this is from the first season, where he's got his first bounty, and he's on essentially like a frozen lake area. Anyway, love it. Just a fantastic photo cover. It's kind of hard to tell if this one is a photo cover or if it's a stylized digital art cover, but love that one. This was also included. This was the Pride variant. So this was included with the bundle as well. And this is the cover A, the Adi Granov. So again, when something like this happens where there's an explosion of variants, and it's almost like overwhelming the number of variants. Certainly there will be like a scarcer version, like there's the SDCC. It's like the black and white. It almost looks like a charcoal or gray version. It's a virgin cover. That one is really hot. Of course, I don't have that one. I've got all of these other in the bundle, but the one that's popping right now as we speak is the convention exclusive, and that always happens as well. You can buy all the comics you want, but it's that one that you don't have, and that's the one that goes nuts. But getting back to my point, when you're not sure about all the variants, just get cover A. So this is cover A. I think when we look back, this will be the book that everybody sort of recognizes and will want to acquire. So this is cover A of Mandalorian #1. This one is the concept art variant, and I'm not sure, it says chapter 1, The Mandalorian. I'm not sure if they're going to do one for every chapter. It'd be kind of cool to have one for every chapter and display them. But there is Mando with IG-11 right on the cover there for the concept art variant. Okay, this was one of the two that I had to have, must have. This is the David Asia version, and it is a 1 in 10, and I love his art style. I think he's probably best known for his work on the Hawkeye series. So he had a very stylistic approach that was borrowed. I really hope these artists get compensated more, but his style was borrowed for the Hawkeye show on Disney Plus. Anyway, really, really fantastic, very stylized cover here. And then as I just kept looking at the different covers, I'm like, okay, this is the John Tyler Christopher action figure variant. I'm like, yeah, I'd like to have this one slabbed in a 9/8 and hung up on the wall too. Just love it, love that style. So if you're collecting these, you have to get this one as well. And then this is the Declan Shalvey variant, really cool. Mando on one side, Razor Crest on the other, with the Mandalorian symbol right there. So another great one. And then this is the Stadium Comics variant, and this is the Ken Lashley cover. And after I looked at this one for a while, this is right up there with the Aja and the other, the last one I'll show here in a second. I really like this one. This one is fantastic. And this wasn't necessarily an open order, but this is a store exclusive. So this one I thought was really great. Now, the one that I wanted was the 1 in 50. And so that was included in this more expensive bundle. This is by Leniel Francis Yu, who's one of my favorite artists. And it's this really neat top-down perspective of Mando. And as soon as I saw the artwork released for it, I'm like, okay, if I'm all in on Mandalorian #1, I want to make sure I get the 1 in 50. So those are the books. I want to break down the order and kind of what I paid for these bundles. So again, love that they're finally here after a very, very long wait. This is a show that I shared with my family, and we watched it together. So they too would appreciate maybe seeing some of these slabs. Probably not as much as me, but nevertheless, those are the books. Those were the two bundles. let's take a look at the order, see what I paid, and compare them to the fair market value. Okay, so here is the order breakdown for my pre-order from Stadium Comics. This order was placed on March 20th, 2022, and I spent $243 total on the 2 bundles plus the $13 to ship. There was no tax, so that was that. Now, it was a little bit challenging to break down the order in terms of what the cost of each book was, and I wanted to be realistic, right? I didn't want to just say that, for a $50 bundle, each of the 5 books cost $10, right? I didn't want to do something like that because clearly we've got incentives, a 1 in 50, a 1 in 10, and so on. So I just wanted to be fair here. Like, here's the 1 in 10 concept art, and I'll start with Twig. Twig was more straightforward. So what I did is I assigned the 1 in 25 Momoko full art edition variant, whatever. I just put it at ratio for $25. The 1 in 10 I did bump to $15, and then the standard open order covers were $5. There was the Stadium variant that I also assigned $5. You could make the case, well, maybe that was more like 10, and then this one was 10. So we can do that. It doesn't really matter, but it's kind of difficult to really assign. So Twig was a little bit straightforward. The Mandalorian bundle, however, I would say was overpriced from the start. So in order to get the numbers to add up, I had to essentially add about 15% to each book, where I would normally think, okay, this is what it would cost. So cover A, I assigned $7. The action figure variant, I gave 7. And then once we got into the incentives, like the 1 in 10, I bumped to 15. The 1 in 25 Aja variant, I bumped it to 35. So not quite 15%, a little bit more than that. But the Jimenez Pride variant, 7. The Shalvey variant, 7. The TV variant, 7. And then when it came to the Stadium exclusive, I put that at $25. Again, exclusives typically run about 15, but I didn't quite know how to make the numbers work. And then the 1 in 50 U I had at $60. So I just kind of averaged out those books to make sure that my total matched the invoice. And then I added the $13 shipping and distributed that across all of the books, 15 total, so that my math is correct, so that I'm putting the actual total to acquire the book as best I could here in column Z. And there's $243. Now, comparing these to the fair market value, I'm a little nervous because I'm already seeing quite a few here. I guess the Milne variant or the Stadium Comics exclusive variant didn't have fair market value. It wasn't in cover price. Yeah, I was staring at the fair market values as I was looking at the cost, and sure enough, there it is. It's a complete loss, a total loss of almost $80. I can't for the life of me figure out why I pre-ordered these. And I think it was just, well, I know they're going to be, at least Mandalorian is going to be overproduced, but I just felt like, especially the Aja and the U covers, that those were going to dry up. I just figured there'd be a ton of cover A's lying around because people wanted the incentive, so I wanted to make sure that I got those, the 1 in 10, 1 in 25, and the 1 in 50. And yeah, there's a couple things I want to say about it. But let me talk about the values first. There was one winner. The Lashley Stadium Comics variant currently has a fair market value of $41.47. It is sold out on Stadium Comics. I showed it there during the unboxing. That's an amazing cover. I really, really like that. I was not expecting to like that book as much as I did. Certainly the fact that it's over $40 in value, that doesn't hurt. The most expensive book was the Lenniel Francis Yu, the 1 in 50, which again, I roughly paid over $60. It has a $44.70 fair market value. That's not bad for a 1 in 50. It's holding around ratio. The rest of the books, in particular, like the Aja variant, $18.11. It's falling under ratio now for a 1 in 25. The concept art as a 1 in 10 has a fair market value of $5, roughly around what the action figure variant is, which that one was open order. Cover A is holding at $4.39. But again, when you're trying to average out the cost of the books in the bundle, it's not making a lot of financial sense. The numbers aren't adding up for me. Twig is even worse. The 1 in 25 Momoko is $11.23. The 1 in 10, it's like they're just halved, paying again roughly over $10 for that book, $5.68 for that. And then the open order books are under $4 for that one. Now, here's the other thing that I will say, that it's not surprising to me and it's not shocking, but it stings. All of these books, I kid you not, except for the Lashley Stadium exclusive, all of these books are available online at your favorite online retailer at a discount. In particular, the Twig books, you can buy them for even less than the fair market value right now. I think that a lot of stores over-ordered this and they just want to move the product. So if you are a believer in the Twig story, if you want to grab other number ones, you can actually go back and get the 1 in 10s and 1 in 25s for not even under ratio, but under fair market value. And it's true for all, and even the exclusive. So that those are all available right now. The Mandalorian number 1, also very much available at your favorite online retailer. Back to the Twig for a second. Some of them are even doing like a 40% discount. Like they're just trying to get rid of it, I feel. And I'm just kicking myself that I paid really retail price or above retail price. And then Mandalorian even more so. And I'm not going to plug in the grades or anything. I haven't graded these books, and there's a few sales at CGC for some of the Twig books, but Mandalorian's not quite there yet. Man, I feel like I'm talking about this a lot, but really it's another example, if you're going back and looking at those numbers and looking at what I paid for these books, where pre-ordering is not worth it. And I have totally done a 180 on this. I used to talk about, you got to pre-order. You have to pre-order the right books. And it's hard. It's difficult. You get caught up in either being a fan of a property or a creator, and you got to have the book at all costs. It's something you believe in, and it ends up just being a waste. And not a waste in terms of you shouldn't have those comics. I still am very happy that I own several copies of Twig 1 and Mandalorian number 1. But had I just been more patient and waited it out, I don't know what I could have saved. I didn't do the math there, but even if you cut the order in half, at $243 spent, could I get all of those books for $100 or less? Maybe. The U variant being a 1 in 50, holding at $44. That was a tough one, but I feel like that's just going to continue to drop. I think it might settle somewhere around 30. So maybe not 100, maybe 150, but still a lot less. And that's what stings right now, is that I don't have to pre-order. Even with these sort of hot independent books that I don't believe are going to really hold their value long term. Everybody talks about the next Walking Dead or the next Something is Killing the Children. There's only The Walking Dead and Something is Killing the Children. These other stories, these other titles, these other series that are kind of exploding right now, I did pre-order them. I didn't pre-order these bundles like this and go all in crazy, but I just feel like I could have waited and been way more selective. I don't know if I would have bought the Twig 1 Stadium exclusive, no offense to Stadium Comics, but there are a few books in here that I would have maybe passed on as well. So I really just wanted the U and the Aja variant, and had I just maybe saved my money and waited, I could have just bought those two comics. So that's my takeaway, is really it's not necessary to pre-order. There's plenty of comic books, plenty of places to find these books, and if a book pops, you're still able to find them. And I see it on social media selling platforms, and they're trying to push a $5 book for 20. If it's starting to heat up, you'll have to pay $20. But it's better to do that than to pay $100 or $200 pre-ordering everything, because you just wait it out. A lot of times you can just wait for that steep discount. So I'm done pre-ordering for good. I still may unbox some pre-orders that I placed before, but I'm really done. I'm not doing it anymore. And if there is a book that's going to come out that I really, really want to go after, I'm either going to buy it on release day, and if it's sold out, I'll look for it elsewhere, and I'm willing to pay a little bit more. And then if it's gone after that, then that's fine. It's not a book. I'm just not into chasing anymore. I'm not into really sort of the bookends, which is extreme pre-ordering and extreme FOMOing and chasing. I prefer to be kind of in the middle. And an order like this, it doesn't give me the same feelings as opening up a box of like Bronze or Copper Age Marvel comics. It's not the same feeling. And a lot of times you just have to kind of trust your gut and trust your feelings on this. And I know better. I know better than this. I know that I should have just waited this out, taken my time, and had I really missed out on the U variant or the Aja variant, and let's say for some reason that became a $200 book, it's okay. I had plenty of other Mandalorian comics, no shortage there, and I know better than this. So please learn from my experiences here, look at my numbers, and hopefully you can use all this to make more informed decisions about the comic book hobby. Thank you for watching, happy collecting, and see you next time.